Another important domain, business environment. Although it has a least privilege of 8% only in 2021 outline, but in upcoming one, they have extended to almost 33 around something. So business environment domain, it contains the compliance. It contains the policies and procedures related to the project for the standard part. It goes with the required EEF, internal or external. So you need to understand those situations when you are working. You cannot run away from these situations. You have to work under them. So the first task is plan and manage project compliance. Confirm project compliance requirement, which means on your project, because all of you might have a different type of projects, so different type of compliances are applicable. So we can have de jure regulations, we can have standards, we can have uh, government-based standards, we can have global-based standards. Whichever is applied, you need to be aware of those standards. Classify compliance categories. To classify something, we use affinity diagram, if you remember, to group the things into their required categories. Determine potential threats to compliance, which means perform the risk identification and qualitative and quantitative risk analysis. Use method to support compliance. Whatever is required by the compliance, ensure embed into the process. That's the principle of project management also. Embed the quality into process. Analyze the consequences of non-compliance by reading the project clauses, by looking, because sorry, if you look at the clauses, they will be acting as a risk. So identify those risks and analyze them appropriately so you know what will be the impact of those compliance. Determine necessary approach and actions to address compliance needs, which means you should have a proper plan, you should have a proper documentation ready for the things. We need to ensure that there will be no deviation from the compliance. Compliance risk may be low in priority because or proper priority means low probability, but they will be a very high impact risk. So we cannot ignore. Measure the measure the extent to which the project is in compliance. Measure the extent to which the project is in compliance. Keep performing your QA all the time. So quality assurance is involved when we are talking a lot about compliance. So based upon this information, let's start solving the questions. Your project involves launching a pharmaceutical product in multiple jurisdictions. By default, when you read this word, you should have a red flag in your mind that very heavy compliance will be in action. FDAs, HIPAA, and so on. There's so many regulatory words. As I said, what should the PM do first? Identify and confirm all applicable compliances and regulatory requirements. Begin development and adjust compliance later. Escalate complexity to executive board. Hire external legal counsel immediately. Exactly. So this is actually the correct answer. And if you don't have the legal expertise available, then do this. If you don't have this one. Very good. Let's go next. A data migration project must comply with GDPR, industry ISO standards, and internal security policies. If you are non-IT and you think that these words matter to you, please don't put yourself in trouble. These words have no value to you. Must comply. So you know the standard, that means they're talking about compliance. This is enough. A data migration project must comply with policies. That's it. This is the question for it. What is the most appropriate action? So please do not waste time in reading this information and don't put yourself in trouble. Oh, I don't know this. How can I answer this? I'm not IT. No, project management is everywhere. So what should be the answer, please? All compliance requirement Till here, it was okay. It cannot be uniform. It has to be tailored. Why legal compliance? There are regulatory compliance also. Compliance or risk management, ultimate responsible is project manager. And you cannot do this. You can work with them, but you cannot do this. So yes, categorize compliance requirement and assess impact accordingly. So it goes with this task also. Very good. Let's go next. Pending environmental legislation may affect your construction project in 6 months. Is it a risk or an issue? First answer this, please. We are talking about risk or an issue. Exactly, risk. What should the PM do? First, immediately redesign all environmental controls. Wait until law is formally enacted. Document potential compliance threats and perform impact analysis. Escalate to regulators proactively. So, when you see the risk, we have defined the criteria how to identify emergent risk and mention them in a document called as, where we have defined the criteria of emergent risk, how they will be identified and qualified or analyzed. In which document we have defined that when a new emergent risk will come, how to treat it, how to treat it, how. The word how is involved, so answer will be management plan. Remember these things. Be focused when you're listening. Immediately redesign all environmental controls. Wait until law. So answer is C, that based upon the risk management plan, identify the risk, place them in the risk register, analyze it, and check how it will impact the project or its objectives. If it requires rebaselining, submit the response to change control board for the approval. Very good. Next, a vendor has violated, but no incident has occurred. It doesn't matter it's occurred or not. What is the most appropriate action? You need to check the contract, what is written in the contract or its clauses, that in case of breach of contract, what will be done, because it's clearly breach of contract. So what will be done, how it will be treated, you have to read that criteria first. And you cannot terminate it if terminate is not written there. Very good. Next. Your project requires a strict financial audit. Wait, please, please stop here. Don't look plus, don't look minus. Just focus here only on this word. When you read this, tell me which type of contract have this requirement as mandatory. To make this type of contract, you should have strong financial audit. We have three types of contract: fixed price contracts, cost reimbursable contracts, time and material contracts. For which type of contract it applies? When you hear this word, what should come in your mind? Exactly. Cost reimbursable contracts, where buyer is at risk, seller is safe. To ensure that cost is being spent in the right direction, we need to have a strong financial audit. Thank you. What is the most appropriate approach? increase the number of compliance meetings, implement automated controls, reduce system integrations, assign a single compliance owner, and rely on manual reporting. This word is not good. So yes, that's why B is correct answer. Very good. Let's go next. A regulatory requirement increases project cost significantly. Wait and stop here, please. A regulatory requirement increases project cost significantly. I will ask multiple questions only on this point, so please answer accordingly. Wait here, don't go here and there. When you read this statement, so this additional cost, what you will do? Will it be covered by contingency reserve or management reserve? This requirement was known. This requirement was known. Management reserves are used for unknown risk. So, first gap of the knowledge, right? It was, it doesn't say is that a new regulatory requirement. If I read the word here, a new regulatory requirement, then it will be management reserve. But a regulatory requirement means you already knew it. So you will fix your risk management plan, right? Because in risk management plan, you defined a stakeholder appetite and probability and impact, which means that baseline didn't work. So you have to update this. Plus, you have to increase the contingency reserve and check your earned value analysis that you are on project schedule and budget. First thing, very good. If you are using type of contract, which type of contract will work for this type of situation? Cost reimbursable, time and material, or fixed price contracts? For this type of situation, look, cost reimbursable contracts are used when scope of work is available or not available. Not available, right? Question does, till this point, do you think it says that not available? You already knew it, right? So it was known. Assumption is it was known to you. So which type of contract? Fixed price. But which fixed price contract you can use here? To save the risk, to balance the risk between buyer and seller, to balance the risk. Listen carefully. To balance the risk between buyer and seller, which type of risk, which type of contract you can use it? Fixed price, MashaAllah. Economic price adjustment, EPA. Any changes because of any situation can be handled with the economic price adjustment strategies. So these are your knowledge gaps. Why I asked again, this is the purpose of solving these questions here like this. So I can find your knowledge gap and you can analyze your mistakes, why you are making these mistakes, why your mind is not going in that direction. So this is what I'm trying to coach you guys. I trained you. Now I am coaching you to find your gaps. Let's go further. The sponsor suggests accepting the non-compliance risk to preserve budgets. Sponsor is saying ignore. What is the action? as a PM you should take? You are not legal expert, so get the help from legal people. Exactly. The things which are not in your scope, which are not in your expertise, get the expert judgment. Very good. Next, quarterly audit shows partial compliance. They are talking about quality assurance or they are talking about quality control. This line, quarterly audit show partial compliance with safety standards. Is it QA or QC? Who is doing that thing? Thank you. But no continuous monitoring exists. What should the PM do next? Continue quarterly audits only, increase documentation volume, escalate safety oversight to executive level, implement continuous monitoring mechanism and measurable compliance KPIs. Question is about question always giving you the answer. Question always giving you the answer. So yes, this is correct. Very good. Next, a minor compliance deviation is detected, but remains within acceptable regulatory tolerance level. Wait, which tool of the quality will help you to determine this? That remains within acceptable limit. What is the tool of the quality? What is the tool of the quality? What is the tool of the quality where we check the limits? That is called as control chart. So please go and read about the quality again, where we define the mean value, upper limit and lower limit, and we go and check. And what rule we check here to find the non-compliance? If we find exactive points at one side of the mean, so yes, we call it rule of 7. So deviation is detected. What should you do as a PM? Escalate immediately to external, halt the project, document deviations, ignore. Exactly. Whenever something has happened, detected risk or issue, so we need to do what? Corrective action as well as preventive action. So first you will do the corrective action and then you will do the preventive action to avoid happening again. So yes, C is correct answer. Your global project spans 3 countries. 3 countries, what we call it when you're working in multiple countries, multiple environments. What is it called as? Enterprise environmental factor. And they have different laws. So yes, external enterprise environmental factor. What is the most appropriate compliance approach? Apply the strict regulation across all countries. Tailor compliance management to reach jurisdictions. Apply headquarters policies globally. Therefore, label compliance to subcontractors. We will tailor it, right? We need to do it proactively. Everything proactively, but compliance more proactively. Very good. Next, a compliance lapse resulted in minor financial penalties, but potential public reputation damage. Yeah, because one thing will make the whole out of it. What should the PM do first? Conduct impact assessments, pay penalty and move forward, avoid reporting or close issue. Very good. We need to perform the impact assessment. We cannot ignore the compliance. So yeah, that was the end of task one for business environment domain, where we discuss, plan and manage project compliance.